While we were in Birmingham, we heard so many great stories of people helping people to get to restoring unity. And one of those stories came from a pastor who is also his town's mayor. Pete Beerman from Grover, Colorado, joins me now. Pastor Beerman, welcome.
Thanks, Pat. Good to see you, I guess.
Tell us your story on how you got to restoring unity.
It's an incredible story. Friday, August 21st, I posted just something real quick from something that Glenn had posted about wanting to make a huge difference in the world. And it basically said, hey, Glenn, I'm praying for you and Tanya. I'm praying for the weekend. I do not have any idea how I'm going to get there. I would love to get there. I'm feeling compelled to be there, but I have no idea, have no means to get there. And he responded back by saying, if you're the pastor and the mayor of Grover, you need to be here. And if you are here, let me know that you're here.
That's great.
Within 3 days, there were two different couples, one from California, Julia and Merle O'Brien, and another couple from Texas. Excuse me. Their names are Lori and Peyton Brown. They came together. Julia and her husband had tickets on points on Southwest Airlines to get me a ticket. Lori and her husband had points for a hotel, so I got a hotel. And then Julia somehow convinced Ashley to give me a VIP guest gold pass as well for the entire weekend. So
wow.
Within 3 days, after just simply putting out a cry to God and a cry to Glenn for the event, I was going myself. And I ended up showing up on Thursday night and enjoyed an incredible, compelling to the core is what I tell people. It's compelling to the core event.
And these are people you've just never met, you'd never heard of. They kind
of responded on the post, and I actually received a phone call that Monday after that Friday from Julia and said, "We've got points, you're going." And I said, "Oh, what? What are you talking about? This is amazing." So that's kind of how it worked. They were complete strangers, but they're friends now.
So they just got you in on Southwest. They didn't put you in first class somewhere. I mean, that's a little bit cheap of them. But
no, I'm totally cool. I don't care if they would have come and picked me up themselves. I was totally pumped that I was able to go.
Yeah, I mean, it's phenomenal. So you got there, and what did you think? Was it a letdown or?
No.
Good.
No, this was the first restoring event I'd ever been to. I'd watched the other ones on TheBlaze and online, but to be there, especially for something like this, again, they were all amazing in their own right, but this one is really, truly, I believe, starting something different. At this point in time in our culture, we're seeing, kind of like you mentioned earlier about the VMAs, I watched some clips from Miley, and I was just like, why is this so important compared to what we did this weekend?
Yeah.
And so I just find myself falling on my knees once again this morning, just saying, God, open the people's eyes. So.
Well, it's amazing to me because as we mentioned in the open, there were the VMAs that were covered like crazy. There was the Black Lives Matter that 300 people attended, and that was
in my home state.
Yeah. And that was covered like crazy. And, all of the really horrific things that happened over the weekend were all covered. But this, that has a shot at uniting us, at bringing us together, at showing people that, hey, we can be good and we can be decent to each other and we can come together and we can serve one another. That's not covered at all. All.
I just don't understand. But at the same time, and in the same breath, I would say, we have an opportunity right now, and I was reading this because I'm preparing for my message next weekend. I was reading this in 2 Corinthians, and it talks about how we are this fragrance, and it's when we come together like this, it's something like this, it really creates an aroma that people, I think, will eventually smell, I guess, to say the least. And hopefully it will inspire other people, hopefully through shares of pictures and videos of people that were there, just like myself, that this word will spread. I mean, my gosh, how can you not spread the word with 20 plus, 1,000 people marching alone on Saturday morning? This is the opportunity for us to get the word out, and that's what I'm going to do with my own church family here in Grover.